is Carlous. I've been incarcerated for 30 years. I've been out of prison for a year now. Been locked up 30 years. It was a lot that I didn't know, and I had to really trust a lot of people. But this ministry and the people that I met, you know, I got to say they were God sent. First I was kind of nervous because the church just seemed too nice or too real. The love, the genuine love, the presence of God, because after doing 30 years in prison, you don't trust nobody. You know, anybody smiling in your face, they got ulterior motive. And, you know, it ain't no love in prison. Just for self or just, you know, trying to survive or trying to beat the next man or the next man trying to beat you or whatever. So it's really no real love in the penitentiary. I did go to church, you know, and I'm like, whew. You know, first course, you know, I'm black, you know what I'm saying? And the church was predominantly white, and I'm like, man, you know, I was like, you know, we in the mountains, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I'm like, man, I said, is this the right place to be? But keeping it all the way real with you, I've noticed in my life that when I went where I wanted to go, it never went right. But when I always went where God wanted me to go, everything prosper, you know what I'm saying, and flourish. And God always put me in a position to where, like, ain't no world I would have chose to be here. Or I would have chose to make that turn, or I would have chose to meet them people, or whatever. And that's where I get my help, you know, because that's what God intended for me to be. And coming to the church, it was like, you know, I always had a problem with letting my guards down. You know, because the last time I let my guards down, you know, I ended up being in a tough situation. So it was like coming to this church and the people were so nice and the people were so welcoming, and I'm like, man, this got to be a trap. You know, this ain't real, man. And then people get back to the camp, people like, well, man, how do people here? I said, man, I don't know, man. I said, this ain't mine, you know. So continue to go, continue to meet people, you know, people introducing themselves to me like they been knowing me, or like they couldn't wait to see me, or happy to see me. I'm like, man. And so, you know, I talk to God, you know what I'm saying? I talk to him more than I pray to him. You know, I talk to him like, God, what is you doing to me, man? Why you got me here? You know, what's going on? And I always think back, I always ask God to, you know, prepare me. You know what I'm saying? When I get out. Don't even give me an opportunity to go back to what I used to be. You know what I'm saying? I want to get out. I want to reclaim my name of who I used to be before I turned myself into that monster. And I ask God to place people around me that, you know, that would help me and not take advantage of me. And it's like, okay, you know, God gonna do his thing. And it's like, I'm like, well, you know, is this it? You know, is this it? You know, so I'm like, man, okay. So the more I got close to Mike, the more I started opening up a little bit. And then it's like, okay, now I'm like, okay, is he genuine, you know, with God, you know. I found out he was real, so I kind of like opened up. And once I opened up, it was like I was able to see the church and the people in the church for who they really are. And like I told my family, I said, man, these some real good people, man. I said, for the first time I can say, I know churches have their little disputes and their little battles and all that stuff, little drama. But other than that, man, this church is the pastor, you know, he's 100%. And I said, the people, man, I said, their love for God is 100%. Then I started seeing all the programs that they do to help people with foster kids, pregnant women. And I could say God placed me around the right people to where I can, you know, be human again. And so, and now that I'm out of prison, you know, I'm on parole, I continue to be a part of this program because people that's been locked up, like as long as I've been locked up, the world has really changed. When you locked up as a kid, even though I was 21, but you're still a kid, you're not an adult, I never learned about life. I never learned what it would take to be a man of a household. Not just be the man of the house, but be the man running the household, the responsibilities that come with that. I'm 52 years old, and now I'm learning about insurance policies. Now I'm learning about taxes. And it's like every time something come up, it's like I should have been prepared for this. But I've been locked up for 30 years and then not knowing if you ever gonna get out or not, so you just don't care about that type of stuff. It's easy to come live with somebody or stay with somebody or even stay by yourself. But to be a man of a household, of a family, that's totally different. And it's like, that's what I'm learning now. And that's what I want to be able to get to the guys that's getting out. I say, now, if you just want to come out and just be a normal person, go to work, go to church, or play on the weekend or whatever, okay then, all right. But if you want to come out and get your grown man on, it's a whole lot that you got to learn. It's a whole lot that you got to know, especially when you got people trusting in you, people believing in you. You got to know what you're doing because, you know, when you fall, they fall. When you go without, they go without. When you suffer, they suffer. So that's on you. And so it's like a lot of these guys in prison, it's a lot that they need to be prepared for. And, you know, you got to be taught that. That just don't, you know, you wake up, okay, now I'm a man. You know. And that's what this prison ministry has taught me the most, is how to become a man, a good man, a secure man. Because it's like, I look at the people at the church, they getting ready to retire. They got their 401k. I never did know what a 401k was. And what it showed me is that is where I should have been when I turned 52. You know what I'm saying? But it also shows you street life don't get you there. And you know, and like I say, man, it's a lot that these people at this church just took the time. I mean, really took the time and explained it to me. Because I had to let them know, I said, man, look, I've been locked up 30 years. I don't know nothing. You know, I know how to cut grass. I can build little stuff. I know how to use tools. But I don't know nothing. The telephone, I'm still struggling with the phone. You know what I'm saying? Like I say to people at church, and it's like, they constantly, hey, Armstrong, how you doing? You know, you all right? You knew anything? And I'm like, well, you've been away from true love, genuine love, and true concern, real friendship. When you've been away from it for so long, you don't see it, you know, when it's real. You thinking, oh, this is a game, this is something, this here comes, you know, okay, what's the 52 catch, you know, what you want, you know, I ain't got nothing, what you want from me, you know what I'm saying, what you want to help me for, and it's like, and I can say, man, God did me right. You know, I love my church family, you know, I love the program, and, you know, like I say, I want to help this program grow. I'm always going to be a part of it. Well, if they stop letting people come or whatever, I'm still going to find me a way, because I can't say that people don't deserve a second chance. I can't say that you can give up on people. You know, once I gave my life to God, and you know, I ain't no perfect Christian. I still got a long way to go, but I always ask God, okay, God, what we doing this for? Why you making me do this? What you want me to learn from this? You know, but just show me something, you know. But like I say, man, this church, the people in the church, this program, you know, I'm gonna say all of this was God plan. I feel like this program is God's plan. Because I've been in prison for 30 years. I've been seeing many programs come and go, rise and fall. I can 100% say that God got his hands in this program. And I know that when God put something together, man can't tear apart. And I can say this is my home, you know, because of this program and because of these people. Because it's like, never in a million years, or nobody that ever knew me, that know me, would ever believe that I'm living up here in the mountains. I know I got a long way to go. And I know that my journey, you know, it's long, you know, and I'm prepared, I'm ready. And, you know, and I hope that whoever see this or whoever watching, Cause see, I hope I've been able to show you that this program is real. It ain't about a church trying to get a name. It ain't about sponsors trying to make themselves look good for society. This thing real. The men that's in the program, they real. You know, who takes a prisoner, a violent offender, or a junkie or a drug addict and embrace them and bring them into their family? And then a church that just bring you in and hug you. Like, okay, we're gonna give you a chance. A real chance. Not no, I'm giving you a chance. No, a real chance. You know, teach you. Give you everything you need to grow. God had to humble me and like, look, man, this is why I put you. These are the people I place you around. This is what you asked for. Okay. You know, and you got to, pridefulness can stop you from seeing the genuineness of help, real love. I thank God, man, for this program, for this church, and for these people. Mm-hmm. And I can say that I wouldn't be where I am right now if it hadn't been for this program, this church, and these people.
Thank you for watching this video clip. I hope to put more of these in social media over the next few weeks. Our ultimate goal is to build a residential community home for these men, so as they transition out of prison from their incarceration, we give them an opportunity to actually have a normal life here in the county. We're going to give you opportunities with links to social media, and we're actually going to begin fundraising to build this home for them. So thanks for watching, and I hope you continue to support us. Thank you so much.